Hey guys, Paul Wilson here from fatburnerbootcamp.com and trainwithwilson.com. Today I'm here with Scott Chandler. Scott's a pretty impressive guy. The last, is it a year or so, something like that, Scott has been raising money for Ugandan street kids over in Africa, raising an amazing amount of money and doing some pretty cool things at the same time. I mean, Scott, you've like climbed Kilimanjaro. We myself and a boot camp as well. We did Snowdon. I know that's nothing like Kilimanjaro at all, but it's still pretty impressive what you've achieved this year. So, Scott, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm sitting here in the kind of hub of Afterglobe at the moment, my bedroom.
Cool.
So not many of you will get to see my bedroom, but yeah, I'm sitting in my bedroom at the moment.
So that's where all your great ideas then come from for your fundraising.
It does come, yes, it does. Most of it come from kind of my bedroom, sitting behind the computer, a lot of emails, and I got a lot of supporters who kind of come up with ideas to raise money as well.
Tremendous. That's pretty fantastic. I mean, you're not just all about your work that you're doing, your hub then, because you're a pretty outdoors kind of guy with what you're doing everywhere pretty much, isn't that right?
I am, yeah. No, I climbed Kilimanjaro last year,
yeah,
and that was the start of doing kind of changing my life really. I climbed Kilimanjaro. I trained for about 18 months prior to that with a personal trainer, Fitness First.
Cool.
And yeah, so I kind of, since I got back, I made it my mission to raise money, and I quit the gym. I basically wanted to kind of get outdoors, so I joined your boot camp. And the aim is now to try to take on more challenges this year. I'm planning to do the Gambia bike ride at the end of May. That's my major challenge for this year at the moment, and then a few more later on in the year as well.
Yeah,
and all money that I raise go to Afterglobe and support Ugandan street children.
Absolutely awesome. I mean, what you've raised in the last year is absolutely tremendous. You're standing up and you're making change, you're making it happen, and it's an absolute prime example that people can start following. So, Scott, let's talk a little bit about goals. I want to hear about your goals. You mentioned your cycle that's coming up. Obviously, last year, you trained for Mount Kilimanjaro, which is very impressive. So, just talk to me a little bit about how you set your goals, how about you go about getting it, and the planning that you make for them.
I don't majorly plan. I'm a little bit more spontaneous. I used to plan a lot, but since kind of coming back from Africa, I tend to be a lot more spontaneous these days.
Yeah.
But joining kind of the boot camp is a way of kind of maintaining fitness. I hadn't needed to lose a huge amount of weight. I just need to kind of tone up. And my aim is to tone up and to kind of keep feeling good about myself. Because if you feel good about yourself, then you can, and you feel like you feel happy to get up in the morning, then you can achieve a lot more.
Absolutely.
So that is my major goal is to kind of maintain being happy, maintaining the feeling of happiness. And I had a lot of problems when I was younger with being bullied at school. I was bullied from the age of 4, pretty much in play school all the way till I left at 17. I was the heaviest I was about 16 stone when I was 16 years of age. I missed a lot of school, and it kind of got, and I between the age of about 17 to 24, I was still quite shy. I was still quite kind of timid. I didn't want to. I was very kind of hermity. And then I decided to go on and become a teacher. I was inspired to be a teacher. I've so far still not reached that goal. So that's one of my major goals, is to be a teacher. Hopefully in 2 years' time I will be. But while I'm doing that, my major goal is to kind of get up in the morning and raise enough money to support children in Uganda and make a difference to children's lives. So that's my major goal at the moment. That and keeping myself happy, and living a good life really. But I prefer to get up in the morning and not plan anything. I prefer to be as spontaneous as I can, and just let the day fly by the seat of its pants really. I don't even wear a watch anymore, so I don't even govern by time.
Superb.
So I just let the day go on as it goes on really.
Scott, that's absolutely fantastic. That's brilliant right there. I mean, just living each day to the max. I mean, you're one of the most driven people that I know, and what you've achieved is absolutely tremendous. It's fantastic. But what I really want to know is that what was that turning point? You mentioned that you was overweight and people bullied you at school, and you was quite shy. So you was quite, I imagine, being reserved. What was that turning point where you just switched and you made that change and you started setting out, planning goals and going out and achieving them? What was it for you?
I don't know. I really can't pinpoint a certain kind of point in time, but because I started training almost a year before I even decided to do Kilimanjaro. I think because I keep a diary, I've always kept a diary now since I was about 13. And I keep a diary and write in it whenever I get to a kind of low point. I even do that now because there's still days now that I feel like, oh, it's a shit day, and I want to write something down. So a diary is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I got to the point that I was having quite a few days that I wasn't happy. So I just was writing a diary entry, and I thought, this is great, but this is only getting it out there. And I just decided to book into the gym, and I paid for a personal trainer. Now, paid a lot of money for a personal trainer, but in the end of the day, even though I spent money, it made me feel happy, and I lost almost 3.5 stone in weight in a total of a year. So it came off slowly.
Wow.
But then once I've done that, I then booked Kilimanjaro within about 3 months before doing it, and that has been that's the thing that really has changed me even more. Coming back from Uganda, seeing how happy people are in Uganda, even though there's no money. Being on Kilimanjaro and just the achievement of getting from the bottom to the top, climbing just over 19,600 feet. Just the achievement alone is enough to change your life. It's enough to inspire you to actually get up in the morning and say, "This enough is enough. I'm gonna kind of seek to do another challenge every year. I'm gonna try to do something to help others." And yeah, I would recommend to anybody if they wanna do something, to not necessarily to raise money for another charity, just to do something for themselves, take on a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take on Kilimanjaro. Okay, it's expensive, but there's plenty of challenges here. There's a 3 Peaks challenge.
Yeah,
I'm organising a 3 Peaks challenge in May. There we have a little plug there on the beginning of May. And if anybody wants to do it, then they can email me, and it'd be great to have as many people to do it as possible.
Scott,
and
just stop you there, Scott. Just quickly shout out your email address if anybody's just listening in right now wants to get send in an email.
It's actionafrica2010@gmail.com. That's actionafrica, so it's all one word, 2010 at gmail.com.
Yeah, I'll get that posted up on there as well. So that was in May, that event, right?
That's in May, yeah.
I know you're always arranging events and things like that as well, which is really cool, and it keeps you busy as well. Scott, just to stop you for a moment before we go back, is you started the gym, you started exercising. So were you saying that was the big mover? That was the big turning point where you started getting really creative and driven and what you wanted to achieve?
It was. That was the kind of. It was the first. Yeah, it was the kind of first 6 months of the initial time in the gym was to lose most of the weight, and then it was kind of toning up. And then as soon as I hit the point of seeing Kilimanjaro advertised and booking on it, that was the point where I thought, right, let's think about what events I can do. Let's see how I can raise money. And yeah, having lost that amount of weight drove me to book Kilimanjaro. And then I did the spin-a-thon in Fitness First.
Yeah.
I organised the Snowdon trips. I raised about £10,000 just purely before Kilimanjaro.
Absolutely fantastic.
And that was literally that was a turning point. Having lost that beginning piece of weight, and booking Kilimanjaro was a kind of turning point to change my outlook. Made me happier having lost the weight. Weight can having weight on you can drag you down in many ways. Drag you down emotionally, drag you down because you're slower and lethargic, And once you've lost it, you become to feel a lot more confident.
There you have it, guys. There you have it. So if you join, start exercising, get into a workout routine, whatever it may be, in a few months' time, you could be climbing Kilimanjaro, setting some big goals like that. That is absolutely fantastic, Scott. Absolutely driven, and you're a prime example to what people can really achieve. You've been somebody that's been, bullied in the past. You've been overweight. You've been shy, but you've gone out. You stepped out of that comfort zone. Let's be honest. We all get comfy and we like being inside of our comfort zone, but it's that initial let's step outside, and you've absolutely proved it that once you step outside, you grow and you become, and life gets really interesting, which is absolutely fantastic. Scott, let's just talk about a few things that you would tell somebody to just do. Absolutely, just do it right now, to help them out.
Just if you wake up tomorrow morning thinking, right, time for a change, get up there and take on find a challenge that you can do. Find a challenge that you want to do, and book it. Don't kind of hesitate. If money's an object, just think, right, there's got to be a way I can pay for it. I can borrow the money off families. I can borrow the money off friends. But if you want to do a challenge, do it. Because if you sit back and think about it for a week, you'll never do it. You'll never book it. Yeah. And then it's another thing that you haven't done. It's like I've just booked a skydive that I plan to do.
Good man.
And it's my second one, but I want to do another one, and I booked it today because if I waited a week, I wouldn't have booked it.
Yes.
I would have thought, I can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
So I would just say, if you wake up in the morning and you want to change, then don't hesitate. Just change. Set yourself a challenge for the week and do it. So if you say I want to go to the gym, but you don't want to be cooked up inside, then find a way of exercising outside. Mm-hmm. Buy a bike, go running, sign up with yourself, sign up with Paul Wilson's boot camp, and it's just a way of something. Just stop telling yourself no. Just get out there and actually do it. Just say to yourself, yes, I'm going to change now. And it's and that's kind of what I did. You have to change within yourself. I know a lot of people that are overweight, and there's quite a few people I know, closest friends that are overweight. And as much as I'm telling them to lose weight and to join and get fit, you're not down to someone else to tell them. You've got to want to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
And so you've got to get up in the morning and say, yeah, I want to change. And I must admit, a diary is a good way of if you keep a diary for a long period of time, like I have, and then you read back through it, and you think that every year that you've been writing your diary, nothing's changed. It's enough to kickstart the change.
Scott, what drives you?
Because what drives me? I suppose my desire to kind of achieve something in life. I want to build up my charity. I want to raise a lot of money for children. I want to change the way children are. I want to change the way children see the world. And that's what drives me, is my passion of working with children. If I didn't have the passion for working with children, I wouldn't get up in the morning to fundraise. So my passion is to help others. That is my major passion. As much as I don't really think about myself so much. I never have done. I'm not one for being kind of a selfish nature. I like to get up in the morning and I think my first thought is of others. And like today, I've been on Skype and talking to people in Uganda for the last couple of hours. I've been trying to think about ways of securing their future, and that is always my first thought. I never really think about myself, and that's the same my mum is as well. And I've got that trait from my mother, and I do. I believe that it's like when my mum came up this weekend to help me with the exhibition. I could not think of anything more than to repay mum. So I repaid her by spoiling her this weekend, or last weekend.
Hey, it's Mother's Day coming up, Scott, as well, so a lot of love for the mums.
that's a little plug there. A little plug. If anybody wants to buy a gift for their mother, get down to the Coffee Lounge in Birmingham in Navigation Street. There are amazing prints for £35. There are framed prints from £150. There are fantastic, genuine African crafts for sale. They're affordable prices. They're jewellery. They're African sculptures. They will make the most amazing present for your mum. And what better? £35 to spend on your mum is absolutely nothing. And in the end of the day, your mum is worth hundreds of pounds. Because if it wasn't for your mum, you wouldn't be here from the start. But your mum is your best inspiration.
My mum
inspires me to do
priceless.
everything.
Absolutely priceless. I bought my mum a photo of a portrait of myself today. I don't know, she's looking forward to that on Sunday. But I may consider taking her down to the Coffee Lounge in Birmingham. I think that's an absolute wonderful gift. It'd be a nice time to spend with your mum as well.
I shall be there. I shall be there all weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Should anybody wants to come in, pop in, and buy their mother a nice print. They're literally, if you don't want to have a print framed, there's an unframed price of £35, and £35 is absolutely nothing to spend on your mum.
Superb. Now, Scott, my good friend Dan, he runs a London boot camp in East London, and we've got this thing. We like to do crazy stuff to get out of our comfort zone. Recently, Sam he laid down on Millennium Bridge in London.
I saw the video of that.
For 2 minutes. He's a nut. For 2 minutes, you just laid there, and I mean, yeah, people are watching you. You do fill out your comfort zone, but it's those tips. It actually comes from a book by Tim Ferriss, The 4 Hour Work Week, and you must read. It's an absolute awesome read, and it's about getting out of your comfort zone. Myself, and one of my trainers, Luke Downing, we went down into Lichfield Town Centre a few weeks ago, and we ran for the town dressed as Batman and Robin, and it was just totally out of my comfort zone. I think the worst bit as well was leading up to it, where we're thinking about it, and you almost just need to switch off and say, shut up, tell your head to shut up. But we're leading up to it, and that was the hardest bit. Once we was doing it, yeah, everybody was looking, but it was kind of more fun, it was more exciting. And there's a cool quote, I can't remember who said it, but basically it goes that life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Now, Scott, certainly the last year, you've been getting out of that comfort zone. So let's just really just clear up that for a second and really go back to that one. Is that, you know, the last year you've climbed mountains, right? You've I've seen you. I've seen when we went to Snowdon. You've been plugging like the charities and raising the money, and it's not something easy to do. But every single morning you wake up and you go out there and do something different. As you say, it's quite adventurous. You know, you're waking up every day and taking it step by step. But the last year, it's just all it's taken you was to get out of that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
Cool, absolutely fantastic. That's brilliant, Scott. Anything else you'd like to add today at all?
No, apart from come on down to the Coffee Lounge and purchase a gift for your mother. Thank your mother for what they do for you. But at the same time, if anybody that would want to do the 3 peaks in May, email me. I would love to hear from you, because as many people as we can. There's a small minimal cost of about £40, and if you want to raise money for the charity, that'd be good. But other than that, if you just want to do something different on the beginning of May, then let's do the 3 peaks. It's done in 24 hours, and that could be your way of getting out of the comfort zone, your first step to exercise. It'd be amazing to hear from you. I have many schemes running at the moment to raise money. There's the Bags for School campaign where I can take all your old clothes off of you, and I get money for them. So all of those boot campers out there that have lost loads of weight and do not want to want to get rid of all their clothes, so they don't have to get depressed by looking at all this money I've spent. Give me your old clothes. I'll be happy to take them off. Come down tomorrow. They don't have to be in bags. Come down tomorrow morning at boot camp. Drop them off in bin liners, and I can take care of the rest. I'd be love to have as many clothes as possible. The more weight I get in clothes, the more money I get, and the bigger you were, the bigger the clothes, the heavier they're going to be. So it's more weight I get. The more weight of clothes I get.
Got you.
There's various things. Look at my Facebook page. There is lots of information about my charity. There's an Afterglow Facebook page as well. You can go on there, become a member, and you'll get updated with lots of information. Lots of information about what I'm doing. Cool. But other than that, just do something. Set yourself a goal in the morning, and tomorrow morning, and just do it. Just don't think about it. Sometimes if you overthink things, you begin to think. You turn around and say, "I'm not going to do it." Don't overthink anything. Never overthink. Just be more spontaneous.
Yeah. Wow, absolutely. That's what life is about. Absolutely brilliant. That was absolutely fantastic. Like I say, you're an absolute inspiration to people that are listening to this today, and really just wake up, drive, and do something. You could be whatever situation you're in right now. Trust me, these kids in Uganda, they've had nothing, right? And
but they're the happiest people in the world.
And they're the happiest people in the world. Scott, I'll tell you what. When you came back from Uganda and that, just to see, it's that giving thing. If you give, then that makes you happy, right?
It does. It's like an adrenaline rush. It releases something in your brain. If you give and you see other children, if you see children happy that actually don't have anything, Ugandan children do not crave materialism. What all Ugandan children want is love, and they want love, and they want people to care for them. They don't crave, they have nothing. But when they get a football, or when they get some new clothes, or when they get a book, they're delighted. But that isn't necessarily what they want. What children want in Uganda is just love and knowing that people are there for them. It's like when the money I've raised is not necessarily just going out to buy a whole load of footballs. It's going out to support them educationally, because education is the root of social change. Education will make their lives better, and will encourage them to pursue what their own potential. So that is the goal of Afterglobe. Is not to change just by buying gifts. It's about changing their lives for the better through education, and inspiring them to live their lives to live their lives for themselves, to encourage them to work themselves out of poverty. But over and above that, Ugandan's children are the happiest. And if a child can be happy with nothing, then what are we moaning about?
Yeah, there you go, guys. There you go, absolutely. So there you have it. Give to be happy. You've got to get out of your comfort zone to achieve more and to allow life to begin. And just keep on doing what stepping out of that comfort zone to make things happen for you. Scott, thank you so much for your time today.
That's okay.
And really just sharing what really drives you, because I know this is going to be absolute gold just to a lot of people that I know as well. Thanks so much, buddy. Thanks for your time today.
Okay. See you.
Guys, just one last thing. Don't forget, we've got this. Is it Sunday as well? Sunday we've got the at the Coffee Lounge. Scott's going to be there, and a great time, to take you.
I'll be there all Saturday afternoon after boot camp, and all day Sunday, and pretty much most of next week, where you can come along, purchase, order a print for £35, or framed prints for £150. There are also a pack of 10 postcards. If you want a budget, they're £7.50, and you can get home and you can put them into a multiple frame for your mum, and that's an even cheaper option for you. There's amazing African crafts. There's not many left. I got my next batch coming in about 6 weeks from Uganda, but they're amazing crafts. There's paper and glue jewellery. Cool. There's African sculptures. There's bags. They're all made by the street children.
Fantastic.
So they're amazing.
That's brilliant, Scott. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing all that enlightenment on us today.